Kuwait's airport this morning was forced into an emergency shutdown as it was targeted by Iranian drones and missiles, killing one person and causing significant damage to a terminal, according to the foreign ministry. A Kuwaiti official called it an act of criminal Iranian aggression. Thousands of American troops are based in Kuwait. Iran fired 2 ballistic missiles at them yesterday, the U.S. saying its defenses shot down the incoming fire. Iran also launched missiles and drones at Bahrain, home of the U.S. Fifth Fleet. It seems Iran is trying to...
Hi, my name is Daniel Coble, and this is the first video in a multi-part series of me unveiling how I've designed a highly experimental bi-copter UAV for support with little to no real-world application. So I've been working on this project for the better half of 2 years, give or take, a few months. And honestly, it's such a complex topic for me that I've gotten almost nothing done. Well, I suppose let's get into my first attempt. The aesthetic validation test. Aesthetic being subjective. Just to see if I could make the shape to begin with. While this was in hindsight an obviously flawed idea, usually I don't get things right on the first try, it showed that at the very least I could manufacture a shape with its many unique contours. Moving on, in the second prototype, I immediately scaled up the budget and size, both by nearly 400%, which proved to be in vain. Note to self and subsequently the audience, I don't know why I do this, but when I spend money on a project, I just can't stop. It's like, I've already spent this amount of money, so like, what's a little more? But in my case, it almost always results in the cost of the project being more and more and in vain, because eventually I just cancel the project anyway. So that forces me into bankruptcy, inevitably, for a short time. Prototype 02's blades exploded under the immense G-loading of the wingtips, or the blade tips of the propeller, and that surprised me, although it shouldn't, because I had carbon fiber reinforcement along the inner leading edge of that entire propeller, and yet it still snapped. So the inner plastic lining just wasn't enough for the G-load. The layer lines from the additive manufacturing process were still inherent weak points in my design. After the explosion, I actually largely gave up on trying to create such an unconventional propeller design. Damselfly 00 was the first iteration of what I thought was going to be a bicopter, and it is slowly becoming what I envisioned through much trial and error. I swapped the large, unconventional prototype UAV blades for standard traditional props, and began testing with a little tiny tilt rotor prototype completely made out of 3D printed parts, and some rough, good-for-nothing roller bearings. I also prototyped the tri-point landing gear, but I might change it, and I don't think it's really important to the current design.
There was also a time when I tried to build some weird jet out of it as a proof of concept so that I could try and sell it as an alternative to turbines in RC jets, but I'm not even going to get into that.
And this brings us to the present. I have scaled up my design once again by a factor of nearly 15, and now the propellers are 30 inches in diameter. It is currently in unbuilt prototype form, but the drone stands nearly 5 feet tall with an 8-foot wingspan. I have been known to jump in complexity, but this is quite the leap. Are you ready? Come with me. Lock in. Okay, I have split my propeller into 2 halves, 2 hemispheres. This is our spherical propeller concept. 2 hemispheres. Much like how the round Earth is divided. Just getting my stance out of the way. In a traditional contra-rotating setup, the first propeller's prop wash is caught, the slipstream is caught by the second propeller, and that provides a 6 to 8% increase in thrust, 6-7. So now not only is it expensive, much more expensive, but it's increasing complexity by nearly 10 times, all for a 6 to 7% increase in thrust. All theoretical. There are 2 more motors per side and controllers to make sure everything maintains safe in level flight. I plan on using this 1953 F4U parachute made out of nylon. It was one of the last parachutes made out of, or one of the first parachutes made out of nylon. I chose this as the recovery system because 1, I had it on hand, and 2, it's designed for a similar weight class and altitude. This drone weighs about as much as an adult man, especially during the war. And it hasn't been used in a while, so I don't know how much I trust its condition, but I suppose we'll have to see when the $4,000 to $5,000 drone comes tumbling down and crushes me to death. Okay, I suppose I should probably start with the computer, huh? I mean, I'm assuming you know that this is all improv. I don't know what I'm saying. But here's the deal, okay? I need this computer. There's a computer, it's a 1984 IBM 5155 personal computer, okay? It has a Raspberry Pi 5 in it, and it is running all the software I need to make this drone work. I'm using it as a bit of a command center, if you will. And that computer is right behind me, and it is currently torn to shreds. There is almost nothing left. All the floppy drives are sprayed all across the table. The case is on the floor. And I don't know how to put it back together. I filmed myself taking it apart, which you're about to watch. But I don't know how to put it back together. So this is the ending. Like, until I figure out how to assemble this very priceless historic artifact, I can't really work on this because that's where all my software is. So enjoy this little montage, I guess. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Well, that's too damn bad. Okay? I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in this purgatory of spending money on things I think I want to do, but never actually get done. I've never been more disappointed in myself. I'm starting to think life is pointless. And best of all, I'm an idiot, okay? I'm an idiot and I'm doing all these things, okay? You have no excuses. If I can do it, you can too. And that's where we're different, you and I. You see, I've done all these things, okay? And by that I mean I have hardly started half the things I say I'm talking about right now, okay? I may have been working on this for 2 years, but I don't even know the first part of what I'm doing, okay? I can come up with ideas. I can come up with aesthetic concepts, and none of them work out because they only work in a fictitious world where no gravity applies, where no physics apply, where there's no air resistance, where there's no thermal resistance. I quit. I'm done coming up with ideas. This is part one, and it will stay part one of one.